What's up, guys? Coach Ryan here with Project Fresh. Hope you guys are having an excellent week. We're getting deep into April here. It is just about the middle of April in a couple of days. And so we all know what that means. Weather is getting better. Travel season is upon us. Graduations are starting next month. Spring break should hopefully be over at this point. I don't think there's any spring breakers at this point, but travel is coming. And so, with that being the case, today we're going to talk about how to travel and stay on plan. So, that's something you've had a hard time doing, which I know a good portion of people have a hard time doing that. Then stay tuned. As I mentioned, my name is Ryan Sanders. This is Project Fresh, our Monday Lunch Live. And just share a little bit about myself. Over the last 13 years, I've helped my clients take control of their health, optimize their performance, and build sustainable habits that actually stick. As a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a sports nutrition coach, specifically certified sports nutrition coach, I've had the opportunity to work with everyone from busy professionals to athletes of all ages and ranges. And through that coaching, I specifically focus on science-based approach and addressing the real-world challenges of maintaining fitness and nutrition. So here I share those stories, those lessons, and specifically today's going to be one of the systems that make long-term wellness possible. So with that being said, as I mentioned, how do you travel and stay on plan? I had this epiphany moment. Some would probably consider it a Homer Simpson duh moment, right? About 2.5, maybe 3 years now. Time is relative. Where I was like, why are my clients having a hard time keeping their programming when they travel? Well, one, because they weren't intentional about planning for it. And two, you're not home. The comforts of home and regular, what shall I say, scheduling really do make it easy to keep your schedule consistent. So I started to develop actual programming and coaching to assist them with having that success. And that's exactly what I want to encourage you in today. So I'm getting ready to travel for some business tomorrow. And with that being said, I've got some very specific goals I'm working on to help me get my body optimized for some competition that I'm doing and for a recent martial art that I've rejoined after 15 years. And both of those require a leaner body than what I currently have and addressing an injury that I'm dealing with so that I can have more fun with those. When I go into competition, I can hit the weights that I want to hit for the two lifts I'm doing. And so with that being the case, I need to keep this going. This trip is business. I'm not changing anything as far as my weekly schedule when I'm building to start to or just continue to see the results I'm starting to see. So how do I plan appropriately? Well, I've got my travel, my flights, my hotel, my meetings, right? All those different things that we do when we travel on business. I know where I need to be, when I need to be there. That's the easy part, right? Well, at least hopefully, hopefully that's the easy part. There's no question or confusion as where you're to be, right? Seeing clients or working with coworkers, whatever your business entails. So then the question is that where is the food and where is the fitness to be able to maintain said schedule, right? Now, does not apply to vacation. And in a vacation scenario, I just want to give this caveat real quickly. You need to decide if you're going to stay on plan with some adjustments or if you're going to be off plan. And even when you're off plan, chances are on vacation, you're still walking, doing activities, adventures, you're moving, food, is enjoyable. You're doing the food and the drinks, whatever you like. I still like to emphasize at least a minimum 100 grams of protein a day, just so we don't lose any of the muscle we've worked hard for in those days that you're away. But that's separate from this. This is purely work for this case today, how to travel. I may even change that to how to business travel and stay on plan, but just wanted to give that caveat. All right. So where's the food? Where's the fitness? Well, if you know that you're doing 4 days a week of exercise, you've got 3 days of strength training in your favorite activity, cardio of choice, and you're walking 5,000 steps a day, then you need to know, okay, what kind of gym do I need? Do I have it at my stay, at my hotel? Does my B&B or whatever I'm at have a place where I can do said workout? Is it body weight and bands? Do I still need weight? And so I find said place near where I'm staying. They got a week package. Do they have, whatever it is? I happen to be a member of that gym and it happens to be in the location I'm going to. Have that set up and planned and scheduled in. If you start your morning at 9 a.m. and your meetings go all day, chances are you're probably going to go out and have dinner or drinks with your customers, with your clients, with your coworkers, right? The three C's. And chances of you getting a workout done in the evening time are very small. I've had very few travel days in my corporate and now entrepreneurial life where I've worked out in the evening unless I just have nothing going on. And that occasion is often rare, not always the rule, but occasionally it happens. So that often means we're getting up, we're getting our workout done, we're getting after it before we go into our workday. Now, this previous trip I went on, it was more of a leadership conference. So they had a celebration at the end of one of the nights. I opted not to go to that celebration or dinner. Instead, I opted to go work out after all of the leadership training portions, do my workout, and then go get dinner on my own. So that might be a scenario that you may or may not encounter. Just an example. But all right, I know where my fitness is. Most likely, most cases, going to get that bad boy done in the morning. I'm doing everything throughout the day. Now, the other piece is the food. Now, if you've got events, if you've got food packed into your travel, okay, that's usually going to be a buffet or a box lunch or something along the lines. If it's a conference style or whatever it is, that might be a part of it, or an on your own restaurants in the area as well. If you know where you're meeting and you know the general area, you can also use Gemini, or I don't know if Apple has an AI, but I've just been using Gemini to assist. Here's where I generally am. Here are the restaurants that best suit my preference of, in this case, I need to hit 240 to 260 grams of protein a day. Me personally, that's where I'm at right now. So these are typically the places I go. Are these the best, or do I have swaps? You can use AI if you like. If you want a coach to assist you with that, obviously I'm here for that, so you can reach out. But ultimately, you're now finding where your food is in relation to where you'll be staying, where you're working, and now you can start to build up. And I always just like to focus on lean protein with roughly enough idea of what the grams are. Now, 100 of those grams of protein that I'm going to get, I'm going to stop in Costco, grab myself one of those boxes of the liquid egg whites, and I'm probably going to have 2 of those a day to give me just 100 grams of protein off the bat. A little trick we use is a little low sugar Hershey syrup, just to make it taste more like a chocolate shake, if you will. It kind of almost tastes like chocolate cake with the egg white and the Hershey's chocolate syrup. So if you've ever baked a cake, a chocolate cake, where you're using the Hershey's powder and eggs, you might kind of get that sense. It's cool for me. I like it. It's cool. Pound one of those. That's 50. Do it twice a day. That's 100. Now I'm just eating the remaining 140 to 160, which is a lot simpler to do over a couple of meals, which usually can sit down and eat twice at most on travel days. That's another thing. How many times can you eat per day when you're traveling? You roughly know what that looks like. So I just gave you an example of how I determine that for myself. Okay, so those are the 2 key things. Where's your fitness? Locking that in, putting it into your schedule, protecting that time. If you got to get up early, you got to get up at 5, whatever it is, that's great. And that means on the back end, if you like the social component, your drink selection is going to matter, right? Well, I do like a beer. I do like a glass of wine. Okay, that's cool. Maybe just 1 instead of 2 or 3, or whatever you usually do. If you can, get a non-alcoholic option, maybe a mocktail instead of a beverage. Your coworkers do not care at the end of the day. If you feel any social, cultural, or business culture, and cultural meaning, I'm Italian or I'm from said family history and we always have wine with, that kind of thing. Well, are you okay with it impacting the sleep that you need before you wake up in the morning to work out and then have a full day of work? Or do you want to be groggy through those first 30 minutes to 60 minutes of your day, which includes your workout? and then starting your work, especially if you're presenting? Or do you want to make sure that that's optimized and performed? The choice is yours. I'm not going to combat the cultural side of this. That's not my business. But I am going to ask the question, do you want to be optimized to be able to give your best? Because you're effectively answering that question based on what you do. And that do is what you eat at dinner. That's going to impact, or especially what you drink at dinner as well. Both is going to impact how you're able to rest. And it's not the timing. You can eat and be in bed in 15, 20 minutes. I've done it multiple times. It's not comfortable, but that digestion isn't as big of a factor as the alcohol factor. That definitely impacts your sleep. And you may go to bed faster when you've had some drinks, but quality of sleep is not the same. So ultimately, the choice is yours, but whichever way you go, you choose which one you're doing. So I've got my fitness, I've got my food, I've got my schedule locked in, and I'm set. Now, if it's like, Ryan, well, it's not easy as that, well, then go ahead and drop travel in the chat. I'd be glad to go ahead and do a 15-minute consult with you to see what it is, maybe some challenges that you're experiencing that you've maybe tried this before, and it's not quite making sense. And I'm glad to walk that through with you. And if it ends up being that, you know what, hey, I could actually use more of this on a regular basis, let's talk about coaching. Fantastic. I'm glad to do that. And I'm not coming at anybody with any like high ticket, any of that kind of stuff. That's not what we do here at Project Fresh. We're very focused on custom, one, and two, just making sure you get what you need to be successful at what you want to be successful at. So with that being said, Ryan Sanders here with Project Fresh, and today we're talking about how to business travel and stay on plan while you do so. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. I will have business traveled and maybe even share just a little bit of how it went. With that being said, I hope you guys have an excellent week here as we keep marching through spring, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, take care. Have a great day.